Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. Yes, again, I am not Lisa Hart. Michael Taylor in for Lisa Hart. We're going to see her a little later in the show. It is Wednesday, June 7th. Today on the show, we are going to say hello to the old pros, Carol Glenn and David Deering. They're going to be on today, along with Providence Mission Hospital's Dr. Joseph Barrera. So stay tuned for that. Let's see some meetings we want to tell you about. Absolutely. We want to get you in that meeting as soon as possible, 9:30 a.m. Right after the show, run over to the VMS and see those guys meeting their board regular session open for the first half of the meeting. They will be open, and that is going to be in the Willow Room. 1:30, we have the GRF Mobility and Vehicles Committee, and that's also going to be in the boardroom today. Let's take a look at that local weather, folks. I have nothing to do with all these clouds. If you've lost your sunglasses, you're fine because you're not going to have them anytime soon. But let's take a look at our weather for the rest of the week. It's going to be the same kind of pattern. Morning clouds for the most part in the 60s, upper 60s at least, lows in the 50s all across. And as you can see for the rest of the week, we have pretty much the same thing, right? Saturday's going to be a little more cloudy than everything, but otherwise about the same. Not much in terms of our weather changing anytime soon. Sunrise, sunset. Hey, we had a really fun picture for you. Look at that. Who would like to go to Mexico right about now and get some of that wonderful sunshine? They've got plenty if you want to head down there. Our sunrise was 5:40 this morning. Sunset, 7:59. And let's stay informed. We got something for you coming up. AARP Smart Driver, they have new and returning students. You can get over there. It's going to be at the Clubhouse 1, Dining Room 2, June 13th and 14th. $20 for AARP members and $25 for non-members. You can RSVP with phone number and the email you see there on your screen. Okay, coming up next, we have the theater and educational group, the Old Pros. Stay with us.
Do you want the government to take control of your assets and your legacy, or do you want to take control? Ellis Carlson Law is well positioned because we have a team of estate planning attorneys. You call us, we sit down with you, and we will define what is the customized estate plan that properly protects your legacy.
I'd like to personally thank L.S. Carlson Law for all my family's estate planning needs. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Hi, I'm Linda Honey. I'd be happy to help you and your family. Please call us today.
Life goes by quickly. Enjoy it while you can. At Southern California Family Dentistry, we help you live your best life. Dr. Jahangiri has been serving the community for over 15 years. His #1 priority is your comfort and care. We offer complimentary dental implant consultation. Our implants start at only $9.99. Check out our new patient special. We offer exams and x-rays for $49. We also perform implant-supported dentures and sleep dentistry, all under one roof. Transform your smile. Don't wait. Give us a call today.
The Salvation Army Orange County is proud to be a leader in providing comprehensive care to families, men, women, young adults, seniors, and veterans in Orange County. Our shelters provide food, clothing, counseling, housing navigation, and job training. We also provide care through rent and utility assistance, food pantries, anti-trafficking services, adult rehabilitation, and youth programs. Donate today to help families in need and empower individuals towards self-sufficient life.
Achieve a level of comfort you've never known before. The Daydreamer will take you through smooth movements and guide you effortlessly into your favorite positions. Adjust the power pillow for ideal support for your head and neck. This and our positioning technology allows for infinite relaxation. Lay back in zero gravity while watching TV and put your body and mind at ease. Lift your spirits and find your favorite daydream. Contact your local Golden retailer today.
Welcome to OCI Care with Dr. Vyas, Laguna Woods' most trusted premium laser eye surgery and comprehensive ophthalmology center. Located in the heart of the Laguna Woods community, OCI Care specializes in laser cataract surgery, glasses-free cataract surgery, microscopic glaucoma surgery, diabetic eye checks, routine exams, and all your other eye care needs. Dr. Vyas and the OCI Care staff believe in one-on-one care and the patient-physician relationship. Come in for your appointment today for a lifetime of better vision.
Diane's Hallmark in Laguna Niguel is now an Elam's Hallmark, and we are excited to be part of your community. We have just remodeled, and you will be surprised by the wide variety of fashion and accessories, home decor, collectibles, Disney, Peanuts, Harry Potter, and Star Wars, along with the largest Hallmark card selection in town. Stop in today and sign up for our Crown Rewards program and get a free Just Because card. Once a member, you can get a free card once a month. Elam's Hallmark, your neighborhood gift store.
The Old Pros is a theater and educational group that works to bring quality, emphasis on quality, musicals and theater productions to the folks here in Laguna Woods Village. And I want to welcome Old Pros themselves, Carol, Glenn, and David Deering. Thank you for coming.
Good morning, Michael. Thank you for having us, of course.
So expand a little bit about what Old Pros is all about.
Old Pros is a theater group that was formed in 2004 by a group of people who wanted to bring quality theater to Laguna Woods Village, and we've done many shows. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Dracula, and just excited to be in Laguna Woods and have an opportunity to bring good theater.
Now, Carol, when we say the quality, I mean, I work over at Santa Ana College also, and they have a theater program where they teach technique, they teach voice diction. Is that what we're talking about in terms of quality, or just trying to make sure you kind of really elevate the level of performance?
We have done classes in the past. Currently, the pandemic threw a lot of our programs off. At this point, we're mainly doing productions locally at Clubhouse 7, and we do a monthly production there, which we go into rehearsal about 2 months before. It will be scenes like the most recent one was a scene, the poker scene from The Odd Couple. Prior to that, we did a segment where it was Lewis, Carol, and Alice in Wonderland. And it was an introduction to people about the character Lewis Carroll, the real person, mixed in with the fantasy of some of his productions. So we work with the people who come in, and I need a few more directors. I'm the current president of the Old Pros, so some of that stuff falls on me, but thank God David was almost one of the very original founders.
Yes, I came in 2006.
Now, can anybody kind of come in, join? Do you have to have a theater background to do this?
Absolutely not. In fact, we encourage people who do not have theater backgrounds to join us. And we encourage people who may not be interested in acting per se, get involved in directing or maybe stage designs, lots and lots of opportunities behind the scenes.
Costume, makeup.
So if somebody has that experience, the audio, production, lighting, things like that.
Right. We welcome absolutely anyone.
And I will say, as far as the acting goes, that people who may not have had the experience find out they may have a talent for it that they didn't realize they had. And that's the exciting part, is to come find someone and all of a sudden they open up and it's something they didn't know they could do, but they can.
Well, David, that sounds like maybe you, right? I mean, here you are involved, and you didn't do this before. You did a little high school, I understand?
I was involved in theater in my high school.
Okay.
And I did some community theater before I moved to Laguna Woods. And I came and I auditioned from New York, and the director said, "Can you give me a good New York accent, like maybe you're a criminal?" I said, "Yeah, I can give you my best New York accent." And they said, "You're hired."
Yeah, so it's a rigorous process, obviously. You guys got some great stuff coming up. 4 Kings and a Queen. You've performed this before, and you're going to be doing it a couple more times for us. Tell us a little bit about what that play, that presentation is all about.
Well, we did it at the Renaissance Fair, and we love doing Shakespeare. David brought Shakespeare really into our community several years back, doing A Midsummer's Night Dream. And one of the segments that we have in 4 Kings and a Queen, which will be running at the Lutheran Church next week, And then at our monthly event on June 21st at Clubhouse 7, the scene with Titania and Bottom. It's a delightful, funny scene, and there is one of those wonderful examples where I called Roxanne Kind, who runs the Emeritus show, and the classes, and said, I need a bottom. The person I was hoping to do wasn't available. So she sent me over this young man, well, he's, in our community, he's young. And it turns out he has talent, and he can sing, and he's a comic, and it was just a delightful, happy surprise.
That's fun little discoveries. Now, when you say Shakespeare, some people might go, okay, not for me. I mean, they read it in high school, and that was the last time they ever wanted to do it, and they go and see the more popular shows on Broadway maybe, but not to the Shakespeare stuff. So, David, you're a history teacher, you're a teacher. How do you make Shakespeare accessible and fun?
Shakespeare appears in my life every day. Whether it's a question on Jeopardy, something on MASH, there's some Shakespeare every day because he wrote for the ages, okay? And admittedly, the language is difficult to understand sometimes. I'm doing the opening scene from Richard III. Took me 2 months to memorize it. But it's just wonderful about how that character comes out in what Shakespeare has written. And he wrote histories and tragedies and comedies, 36 plays, 154 sonnets, and he's in our lives.
Right. And a lot of people don't realize that, I think, right? And a lot of people don't realize the influence and the carry forward that it's happened when you see, a Romeo and Juliet type movie today where they have the parents and you go, oh, that's based on Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
Or, the last line of the Maltese Falcon,
Right.
is a famously, Prospero says that line.
Prospero says, yeah.
And so, you won't realize how it's still so much part of our world today.
Right. And as I said, admittedly, he's a little difficult to understand, but he can be understood. Okay?
That's very important because sometimes the language has changed, but as an actor, if you're conveying the thought behind those words, the audience gets it and it is clear enough. There may be an obscure reference, a noun of something that you're not sure of, but you get the thought.
Right. Well, and the funny thing is I told my kids, High School Musical that you guys loved is Romeo and Juliet.
That's
you guys
right.
get that, right? You have the two feuding the jocks and the nerd,
exactly.
The whole thing, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm here to tell you."
Yeah.
But if you know the path, you understand. Then you can find it much more easily if you kind of have an understanding, right?
If you have a background for it, sure.
Right. So, what would you say some of the more interesting facts about Richard III? I know you came in here for some facts. Let's hear some.
Richard III was a real character, okay? And if I'm portraying a character, I like to find out as much as I can about whom I'm playing. Richard III was very much maligned by Shakespeare, and history has proven that he was not the usurper, okay, and the murderer that Shakespeare made him out to be. In fact, in my research, I found that his remains were found in 2012 in Leicester, buried underneath a car park. Okay?
Oh, really?
In a
that seems like a
garage.
Misplaced
Yes.
thing. Somebody moved a headstone.
And with DNA now, it was clearly Richard III. Okay,
Wow.
and he was maybe a hunchback, maybe not, but he definitely had severe scoliosis, which the pictures from the exhumation clearly proved.
Okay, before we go, we're going to wrap it up here, but one more time, where are we going to be able to see four kings and a queen?
A couple different places. I'm not sure what the admission policy is for the Lutheran Church.
Well, that is pretty much for the lunch group there at the church, but it will be. We've been doing several productions for them for this last year, and it's a wonderful place because rather than doing it once and the show is over, this way we have a chance to give the actors several times to perform.
That's wonderful.
But the important thing is for the old pros and for everybody in Laguna Woods to hit Clubhouse 7, June 21st. Doors open at 6. Show goes up at 6:30, and it is a treat. You get
We've
songs
got it. It's
and
up on the
sonnets.
screen. It's going to
there
be a
it
fun
is.
show.
Thank
We've got
you.
it up there for you guys.
Thank you.
Old Pros, Carol and David, thank you very much for joining us today.
Michael,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you so much.
Thank
Michael.
you. And hey, the show goes on. The Old Pros are leaving, but the show goes on. And like I promised, Lisa Hart's going to be coming back with Dr. Joseph Barrera from Providence Mission Hospital. Stay with us.
Did you know that the Laguna Hills Lodge was originally built as a place for relatives or friends to stay when they were visiting? In 1968, Laguna Woods' residents built the first 2 buildings of the lodge because they wanted a place close by for visitors to stay. Since then, the lodge has become the spare bedroom for the Laguna Woods' residents. The lodge has received the TripAdvisor Award of Excellence 8 years in a row. We invite you to stay in one of our recently remodeled garden rooms and take advantage of a special offer for Laguna Woods' residents, family, and friends.
Welcome back. We have Dr. Joseph Barrera here on behalf of Providence Mission Hospital. Well, welcome. Very nice to have you on.
Thanks for having me, Lisa.
We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come on in and
Of course.
help inform our residents of, so many different things that are going on right now, and some things I think people aren't always aware of, especially when it comes to our thyroid, and that's what we'll be talking about today.
Right.
So tell me, before we get into that, a little bit about yourself, how long you've been practicing and how you got here.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been an endocrinologist in the community since 2002, and my practice has been in Mission Viejo. And then in the last couple of years, I split my time now between a role as our associate medical director, and because I love taking care of patients, have retained that role as an endocrinologist.
Okay. All right, interesting. Now, what exactly is an endocrinologist?
So we study and take care of patients with hormonal disorders. I would say the majority of what we see are individuals with diabetes. And then the second most common thing that we see is disorders of the thyroid gland.
Okay, and what brings on issues with your thyroid?
Many things. There's a higher likelihood of a thyroid condition happening as people age. And there's also a higher prevalence of endocrine disorders in women. It seems to always be that way, right?
Right.
And so those things together increase the likelihood of an older female having a thyroid disorder.
And when you talk about thyroid, I mean, endocrinology could also be associated with bones and osteoporosis.
Absolutely, yeah. So hormonal disorders can include menopause, osteoporosis, and many other endocrine glands.
Mm-hmm.
But by far and away, diabetes and thyroid is the bulk of our practice.
Okay. So what are people experiencing with any type of thyroid condition?
Yeah, it's a great question. I kind of think of it as structural and then functional. So structural meaning something's wrong with the architecture or anatomy of the thyroid gland. It's like a small butterfly-shaped gland that sits in the base of our neck. Mm-hmm. So that's the structural stuff. And then separate are functional problems where the structure of the thyroid's stable and normal, but functionally it's either underproducing or overproducing thyroid hormone.
Okay. And is there testing that you would do? Like, I guess I would never know if my thyroid was working properly unless I had some kind of symptoms or there was a test for it.
Right. So the structural problems often have no symptoms. You might know of a couple of cases. I think Tarek on Flip or Flop, Deborah Norville, also a newscaster. Both of those individuals had viewers basically write to the station and say, I think Deborah has a small structural change with her thyroid, a nodule. And over time, as that got reported to her, they discovered that she in fact had thyroid cancer and was treated for that. So a reviewer reported that. So that can sometimes be seen by a significant other, a relative.
Right.
I'm, as an endocrinologist, always in the habit of looking at people's neck. It must be sort of strange, right? You just think, oh, does that person have a goiter or a nodule? Structural problems are less common. The functional problems are far more common. So nothing's wrong structurally, but with a blood test you can detect, is the thyroid potentially underproducing or overproducing thyroid hormone. And as you were asking, the symptoms are very non-specific. So for underactive, just think of it as a metabolic situation. If you were making too little thyroid hormone, you could experience weight gain, sluggishness, fatigue, just some general non-specific symptoms. And the exact opposite, if your thyroid is overactive, weight loss, agitation, maybe some heart palpitations.
And so someone that has diabetes, what would their thyroid be doing?
Great question. So they're independent disorders, but many people with diabetes happen to also have thyroid problems and vice versa. So you could have diabetes without any problems with your thyroid, and vice versa. You could have a abnormal thyroid function or structure with no evidence of diabetes. They don't necessarily overlap, but both conditions are frequent enough where we treat many people with both.
So when someone is over the age of 55, which is the majority of our residents, at what point would they be concerned hormonally? Because many women are already past that menopausal stage. Right. So can the thyroid still be affected?
Absolutely. Yeah, the incidence increases with age. It's almost like the thyroid has to work harder as we get older. And there may be a point where, because of that, the thyroid is no longer able to maintain normal thyroid function. Fortunately, the test that we'll do to screen people is called a TSH, stands for thyroid stimulating hormone. And pretty much everybody who goes to their doctor for an annual exam should have that simple blood test, inexpensive, and a very reliable indicator of whether or not somebody's thyroid function is normal or not.
Yeah, I think it's part of just your general physical exam. They run that panel for you, and that's included as that, right?
Yeah, correct.
And what are some of the treatments that people can look forward to?
Yeah, for an underactive thyroid, it's thyroid hormone replacement, synthetic thyroid hormone. There are some non-synthetic replacement hormones that we sometimes prescribe, and it's really essentially replacing what the thyroid could not do any longer. That's for underactive. And then with overactive, a little trickier. Luckily, that's less common, about 5 times less common than hypo or underactive thyroid. And there's medication we can use to alleviate symptoms and then to slow down the thyroid. In some rare cases, we have to do things to essentially eliminate the thyroid, whether it's radioactive iodine or with surgery. But there's readily available treatments for either condition.
Okay. Now, you had written an article for, I believe it was US Week.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you addressed in that article, and everybody is seeing that on the screen now?
Yeah, I was one of the contributors along with some of the other endocrinologists throughout the country. So it really was meant to have people be more alert to what symptoms might be present when they have a thyroid disorder. And because the symptoms are nonspecific, I think if people read through the article, almost everybody would say, well, I have a handful of those symptoms. I think whether you do or not, I think it's important that people ask their physician to screen them for thyroid problems, particularly as we get older, and if there's a family history. So young people can have thyroid problems as well, particularly if there's a family history of thyroid problems within the family. I tell patients, like, one of the most important things is to have accurate family history. Back in the day, people would write that in a Bible or something and say, oh, this is what so-and-so had, this really nice family tree. I think just as important to try to maintain that now so we know what we're at risk for.
Great information, and I think it's good to know what an endocrinologist does, because I think a lot of people don't know all of the things that you cover. So great information. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And if you want more information about what we have discussed regarding the thyroid, you can always go to providence.org/mission. And if you would like to read that article, you can type in Dr. Joseph Barrera, US Week, and it'll bring you to that link. We'll be right back.
Oh, life, how we admire you, are deeply fascinated by you. All your twists and turns and wild rides you take us on. The ups and the downs. Life, you live inside all of us, breathing, growing, beating. You are the reason we'll always provide world-class healthcare. Providence. we see the life in you.
Where would you go if you could go anywhere? What would you do if you could do anything? How would you fill your days? Who would you spend them with? When you retire, what will you explore? Let us show you how a complete retirement plan can open your world to endless possibilities. Explore your retirement.
Welcome to the RadNet Health Spot. I'm Stephanie Landon with some information for you about risk factors for breast cancer. Did you know that the main factors that influence your chances of getting breast cancer are being a woman and getting older? You should speak with your healthcare provider. You may be eligible for genetic testing or additional screening exams. The bottom line is this: knowledge is power.
Welcome back to This Day. Hey, let's take a look at the movies we're going to have for this weekend. On Friday, it's going to be Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino. That is a classic. Some great actors in that too. Charles Durning, a few others you'll recognize. And that is brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. And then on Saturday, your movie is going to be Restoration with Robert Downey Jr. That is a more new one. It's, I think, 2019. And that is also going to be brought to you by Providence Mission Hospital. So look out for those. 2 p.m., 6 p.m. Are there going to be the show times? And hopefully you will enjoy those as much as we enjoy picking them for you. Okay, let's talk a little bit about something we got coming up. A food distribution is going to be coming up for you. It's a drive-through, and they load the groceries right into your car. It's going to be Friday, June 16th from 9 a.m. to 10:30. United Methodist Church over on Moulton Parkway in Laguna Woods. Everyone is welcome. It's sponsored by Saddleback Church in Laguna Woods. And for more information, you can call 949-609-8572. Okay, let's check that weather. Yep, it's been gloomy, like we said. I don't know if it's gotten any better. There's at least maybe some scattered clouds. I see a little blue on the left side of your screen there. That's kind of nice, right? We have hopes. We're keeping our fingers crossed. Hopefully we got some clearing later today. High's only going to be about 69 degrees, and that really is going to be the theme for us. Saturday, a little bit thickening of the marine layer. I don't know that we're going to get any sun on Saturday, but it'll pop out again for us on Sunday, and so that'll be nice. Hopefully we'll find those sunglasses, maybe use them sometime this spring. That would be nice too. Let's go to our sunset. Oh, that's going to be it for this day. That's right. We're not doing sunset right now. We're going to go to this day. We're going to say goodbye. You know what? I'm already messing this up. So Lisa Hart's going to be in tomorrow. Take over for me. I can't seem to handle it right now. Lisa Hart's going to be in tomorrow. I'll be back next week. Have a great rest of your week, folks, and thanks for joining us on This Day.
I would like my patient to have a very positive experience. One that they feel comfortable, they feel it's a safe environment. For me, I feel a personal relationship is the most important, more than the actual dentistry itself. I can earn their trust and they can feel comfortable, and it allows me to do my job the best. And that means a lot to me.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. Remember me? I'm the king of whoopee. And you're watching Village Television. But everybody does.